Hey friends, it's Gina. Welcome to the Rebookery channel. This is my garden journal that I just recently set up, and I am so excited to start doing some art and journaling in this book. I will link below how I set this book up, but it's kind of a scrapbook, art journal, garden journal, kind of all mixed into one. So in my book, I have sections, and one of my sections is about guests that we have here at our house. And by guests, I mean animals. So today I'm going to do a quick journaling page about one of our guests that has been with us for quite a few years, and sadly he's no longer with us. It is a snake, and his name, my daughter named him, was Mr. Slithers. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just pulling out the pictures of Mr. Slithers that I had taken throughout the years. And the page I wanted to use was a book page that I got from some old science book, but the reason why I wanted to use it is because it has a picture of an albino snake on the bottom of it, and so I thought that was kind of a cool picture to use because Mr. Slithers is actually a black snake. So now I'm just thumbing through my collage book, pulling out a few pieces of paper, and this is actually going to be part one of a two-part journal process video in this section. And it's interesting because I just filmed the other section today, and I used all of these papers that I'm pulling out. So I just pulled out a few papers. All of these papers I pulled out, I actually use in the next video. And it's kind of cool because I didn't pull any other supplies. I used everything I had, and you can see in this next video how I go all the way down to like the bare nubbins of some of these little pieces of paper. So now I'm just trimming my photos, and these are photos that I print at home. I have and it's old. It's an Epson Picture Mate, and I think I got it like in 2009 maybe, and I don't even think they make, I know they don't make the printer anymore, but I don't think they make the ink cartridges anymore. So I have this little thrift store, and they'll get some packs of those in every once in a while, so I always try to stock up. So I'll be able to use this printer until I run out of print packs, which I think I have 5 more left. So here I'm just taking my China marker, which is not a marker at all. It's like a colored pencil, and it works really well on slick surfaces. And I'm just edging around these photos because I want this to be very no fuss. I just want to get the story down of Mr. Slithers. And this piece of paper I'm using is a piece of gift wrap actually from my daughter's wedding shower here recently. And I just chose it just because I liked the colors of the paper, but it's kind of cool that I'm using that paper because my daughter and we would always laugh about Mr. Slithers, and I would always send her pictures of Mr. Slithers. So yeah, anyway, so I have a little piece of my daughter here in this journaling spread. So now I'm going to back this photo because I'm thinking I want to make this a flap. I don't have a lot of room on this page for journaling, so I'm wanting to write and then be able to pull the picture up so I can see what I've written. So I'm just writing some thoughts about Mr. Slithers, and I'll be honest, I don't know if it's the same snake, or we thought through the years that this was like Mr. Slithers, and then the next year it would be Mr. Slithers' kids that we would see, and we would always see his skin. He would shed, and he would live under our front porch, which kind of freaks me out because there's been a few times I've opened the front door and he's slid off the front porch. And then he also gets in our bushes. But Mr. Slithers is no longer with us. My son and we had to do away with Mr. Slithers. He got too big, and he was getting too close to the house. And so Mr. Slithers was exterminated this year, and I figured there would be more in his little nest underneath our porch. However, since we've gotten rid of him, we have not seen any more snakes, so I think maybe he was the one and only, which means he's been with us for quite a while. So I'm pulling up that paper because when I originally laid it out, I put the blue paper underneath, and then I forgot, and I glued the other paper down. So I had to pull it up, put the blue paper underneath, add this other picture of Mr. Slithers, and add just a little bit of washi tape. So I stapled the picture in the upper left-hand corner. I stapled that so that I could be able to read the journaling, but you'll see here in a minute I decide that that's not really what I want. So this little piece of paper that I have here, it actually came from a book jacket of a nature book that I have. And I want to use this little piece of paper because the text I thought was kind of fitting. It's the ABCs of nature. And that's kind of the whole point of this page about Mr. Slithers it was just kind of the ABCs. I didn't want to get rid of Mr. Slithers, but I kind of had to because, you know, he was encroaching my space, which actually, truth be told, we were encroaching his. So I would try to find a place for that. Now, notice I just pulled the picture off. When I went to flip the picture up, I noticed that I didn't like how flimsy it was. I didn't think it was very secure, and the book page that it's on, it's an older book page, and so I just decided to ditch the staples, so I pulled them out, and then now I'm just using some washi tape and putting it on the front and the back, so now it's a more secure flap, and I actually like that a lot better. So once I have that in place, I'm going to go back and try to figure out where to put some text on here other than just my writing. So I'm back to that ABCs of nature thing again. I'll be darned if I can find the right place for it. I finally decided to go in the lower left-hand corner, and I decided to get out a little piece of fabric and staple that to the side just for a little added interest. Now, I don't know what was up with me and my stapling skills this day, but when I stapled it, I didn't do a very good job. So I'm taking my bone folder and just kind of squishing down the staples, hoping that they stay in place. So part of that little nature, ABCs of nature text, it said underneath it, a family answer book. And so I liked the text, family answer, because our answer for Mr. Slithers was to exterminate him. So kind of had to put that little piece of paper in there just because that was kind of our answer to being safe. My worst fear was that Mr. Slithers would end up in my son's bedroom one day because his bedroom is right underneath the front porch. And so that was always my worst fear, is that I would open up his bedroom door and I'd see Mr. Slithers either hanging from the ceiling or laying in his bed. I actually called the exterminators, and they said that snakes do not burrow and they don't dig. So unless there's a hole already made, the snake will not be able to come into our house. So that made me feel a little bit better. So I'm using some stamps and just stamping my title, which is going to be R.I.P. Mr. Slithers. And then using my date stamp, and I'm being really lazy here, and I just put it on the lid of my ink and stamping the date. So one of the pictures was from 2012, the other one was, I don't know, I think 2015. And then I want to make the lettering pop a little bit, so I'm just going inside this stamp set, this alphabet stamp set, with some red pen ink, and I like how that looks. It makes the text pop. So now I'm ready to put it in my garden journal, and I want it to go in the section right next to turtles, because we have a lot of turtles at our house. But I want to tie the two pages together. So when I pulled papers from my little collage book, I pulled out a little strip of wallpaper. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is just cut some scallop and glue a little bit in the bottom of one page, and then cut apart a couple other pieces and glue it up in the corner of the other page. So it kind of ties the two papers together, or the two spreads together. So, you know, there's a little bit of continuity. Now, I haven't actually created the section for guests in this book. In my next video, you'll see that I do create the index card for that. And I actually do a journal page on the back of this one for Mr. Slithers. So I will hopefully post that in the next couple of days. So now that I put everything together, I like what it looks like. And that was a fast journal process. So thanks for watching, guys. And if you like this, leave me comments or subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.